Hi, I'm John Trusky, one of your warranty and tech support coordinators for Hayes Bicycle Group, and today we're at Ray's Mountain Bike Park in Milwaukee to go over the bleed procedures for the new Prime series of brakes. As you know, periodic brake bleeding is essential for proper function of the brakes, and whether that's done once a year or once every 3 months, you must follow these procedures to make sure that the job is done properly. In order to do this, you'll need the following tools: a T10 driver, 2.5mm Allen key, 4mm Allen key, 5mm Allen key, 8mm box end wrench, a Hayes Pro bleed kit, some clean and dry towels, a spray bottle filled with isopropyl alcohol, rubber or latex gloves, as well as the pad spacer. For your first step, once the brake is removed, you'll want to remove the pad pin, the pads, and the pad spring, and just set them off into a dry and safe location. Next up, push the caliper pistons all the way into their bores using the box end of an 8mm wrench. Once the caliper pistons are reset back into their bores, position the handlebar so it's about a 45-degree angle up, and the bleed port for the T10 about the highest point in the system. Remove your T10 bleed port plug and set it aside, and then attach the prime and stroker bleed fitting to the master cylinder assembly. Once all attached, clip the red clip closed to prevent any air from being drawn into the system. Take your caliper and remove the caliper bleed screw from the banjo bolt on the side of the caliper. Thread in the bleed fitting. Attach the hose from the filler bottle to the fitting. As a little trick, which you can do to purge the air out from your squeeze bottle line, is just give the lever a short pull. Once the air is purged from your squeeze bottle line, open up the red clip on the overflow bottle and begin squeezing your brake fluid through. It's important to note that you don't need to squeeze hard on this, as you get there faster if you just slow down with the process. Stop squeezing until the bottle returns to its natural shape. When the squeeze is released, air should be drawn out of the caliper and back into your squeeze bottle. Continue alternately squeezing the fluid bottle for a count of 5 and release it until no air bubbles come out of the caliper. While squeezing the bottle, rotate the master cylinder upwards so it is perpendicular with the ground. Rotate the master cylinder downwards until it is again perpendicular to the ground, then back to normal riding position. After a couple of completed passes with the handlebar and the 45-degree pointing up, you'll want to rotate the handlebar so that she is pointed down at a 45-degree as well, and repeat the same processes of rotating the master cylinder around the axis of the handlebar. Squeeze the bottle until fluid comes out at the master cylinder with no air bubbles. Clip the red clip on the overflow hose, release your squeeze, and then loosen the cap on your squeeze bottle to neutralize the pressure inside. You want to remove your squeeze bottle and then remove your bleed fitting from the bleed port. Just cover it with your thumb just to keep any fluid from moving out. Install the bleed port screw, and the caliper has been completed. After that, disconnect your overflow bottle from your bleed fitting for the brake. Disconnect your bleed fitting and install your bleed port screw. Once both bleed ports are closed off, spritz the caliper and the master cylinder with your isopropyl alcohol and wipe them down. Take your brake pads, sandwich your pad spring, and guide them in to your caliper. Take your brake pad pin and tighten it down to right around 10 inch-pounds, not a whole lot there. Take your pad spacer, slide it into the caliper, and then just check your work. As you squeeze it, run it through the contact adjust settings to make sure that you have the full range of adjustability. So you can see that there are some definite little tricks to the trade as far as bleeding the brakes go, but it's nothing that most of us won't be able to handle. There are 2 bits of advice I do have to offer for you this, and that's first and foremost, take your time. This isn't a race, and you get there faster and better if you just slow down. The second bit is, if for some odd reason you're not getting the results you want, or it's taking too much time, stop what you're doing and drop us a line. You can give us a call at 888-686-3472, or you can drop us an email at hayestech@hayesbicycle.com. We'd be glad to get your questions answered and get you up and rolling with proper working brakes.